destination is on your left.
Scott Spees. I'm from right here in Champaign, Urbana. Born here, raised here, been here since 1960. Here, yeah, I pretty much know everybody and anybody. Champaign, Urbana is what I call a big little town. It's big enough to be a city, but it's small enough that it's kind of a little town. Everybody knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we needed that, right? Like, any drag racing or any form of racing is definitely an adrenaline rush. Mm-hmm. It's competitive, and of course, I have a very good competitive streak. I don't necessarily need to be the best at anything, but I like to be better than most people at most things. Yeah. And it goes with drag racing or announcing or pool or bowling. It's about anything. We have the artsy fartsies and we have the gearheads. I tend to fit more into the gearhead category. I don't lose a lot of games.
That's good.
I'm not that good at pool. I'm just enough better that most people don't beat me. Alright, this is one I use in the bar when I'm playing somebody that really either too drunk or they're just having fun. Mm-hmm. If you take two balls, you put them against the rail, you kind of tap them in place, and put the other ball right above it. Here's the whole trick. You shoot it really, really soft, and just before it gets there, you hit the table. Awesome. The new car I'm building is going to be probably running right around the 8:30 range, 8.3 seconds, and should be able to run 170 mile an hour. In 1981, I went to a junkyard here locally and purchased one that was wrecked, and there is the one that I restored. Are competitive at a sport that I'm in. I don't want to be the top 20%. I'm very happy with being the top 80%, but I want to be the top 80% in anything I do in life. I want to be up in the top end. I don't want to be the number one at anything, any single one thing, because then that would mean that I would only be good for that one thing. I like a much wider diversity of knowledge. I love knowledge. I want knowledge. I want to know as much about as many things as possible. I really like playing with cars, doing restoration work on old muscle cars, designing race cars, working with race cars, racing cars. So all the car parts, I've got all the parts and pieces to build that 1,300 horsepower motor sitting down here in my basement at the moment.
That's so cool.
Well, I started out when I was 16. I bought a car and played around with it and played around the street, and that was not safe, so I started making one designed to use on the racetrack. I am much better at conversing and dealing with things that are mechanically inclined or something that have to be figured out. When it comes to looking at art or wine, trying to judge wines, it's just not my bag. I'm sorry, wine is rotted grapes. Smooth things off, scuff things up. We're trying to get a little bit of friction, a little bit of traction on the ball so that you can put spin on the ball. Three tries on that one too. I gotta have people around. I'm a talkative guy. That's why I do the track announcing. Oh! No, put that one in. Who, what, where. If I see something work, I'm like, ooh, that's neat. Rather than stopping there, I want to, how does it work? Why does it work? Why did you do it that way? What could we do to make it better? Just like to pick up more and more knowledge about anything and everything. Yeah. So I'm relatively intense and competitive.
Well, it looks like you don't have to.